this is Amy. Thanks so much for stopping by. Today I'm going to be painting an orange, kind of a tiger lily inspired design. Not exactly as I would paint a true tiger lily, but it's going to be an inspiration that I'm using for this design. I'm going to be using a combination of several different flat brushes. I'm going to use a couple number 12s, number 10, and a number 8. These are all plaid one-stroke brushes. And then I'm going to also use a number 8 Deerfoot Stippler. Has become my favorite to paint centers with. The paint I'm using today is a combination of burnt umber, burnt sienna, Thicket, vivid orange, moon yellow, and autumn leaves. These are all folk art paints, a combination of multi-surface and the enamel paints. Alright, to get started, I just touched my finger in the paint. Yay. Told ya, I'm not the neatest painter in the world when it comes to that, but I'm trying to be cautious and pay attention to including my paint and strokes in my videos as much as possible. I am going to be using the vivid orange and the autumn leaves on this. I'm also going to be dipping my one side in that I'm using the lighter, which is the vivid orange paint, and then maybe even touching in some white. My tiger lilies, or inspired tiger lilies, are going to be 5 petals. Again, they're just an inspiration from that, not necessarily an actual tiger lily. But what I'm doing right now is trying to concentrate on getting the best coverage I can on the bottles. So that's why you see me putting different paint into this and kind of playing around with it, messing with it a little bit. Definitely easier to do on paper than it is on the glass. One thing you need to make sure is that you don't start until you've cleaned your glass, and that means at least soap and water. I would recommend hitting it also with some rubbing alcohol just to make sure all the oils and lint and all are off of your design. And I apologize, of course, my dogs have to start barking as soon as I do a video, which is pretty common. Shh. Alright, we're just going to keep working here, and I apologize for the interruption with the barking. And again, I'm trying to get the most coverage I can, making it as opaque as possible, because that will create a design that will last longer and be more durable, whatever use you're going to be using the bottle for. You don't have to use as many colors. I mean, you could use the 2 and then just, continue on. But I like to put a little bit of extra colors in mine. Just trying to keep that nice and steady. Alright, I'm going to keep going here. Alright, the main barker just came downstairs. She's my blue heeler mix that likes to get into trouble. Now I reuse my bottles. I do sell some of them, but I reuse my bottles for the videos. I'm so sorry if you're hearing her. Just trying to nicely paint this. And then I'm going to just try to do 2 or 3 blooms. I like to do odd numbers in my designs. Again, just putting some extra coats on here. And I will be overlapping them. If I were to be creating this bottle to sell, I would do my design all the way around. For the purpose of the video though, I am only doing it towards the front of the bottle. Yes, my design might end up being big and kind of reach around, but I'm trying to keep it from being too big. Just light touches too. You don't have to do too hard. I'm trying to keep it up too so I don't touch it. On the other side. And your petals can be thinner, you know, if you want them to be long and thin. They can be. I think some of mine are longer and thinner than others. And then this one's going to kind of go up into the other lily. You just have to be careful because when you're painting on glass, if you work it too much, you can get that where it kind of slits, grazes, brings up the paint underneath, which I don't want it to do. So I'm just lightly touching it and it's doing it. And that's because I had paint underneath of it too and didn't allow it to dry. Alright, so then I'm going to turn it and do just one more piece down here. And you can just bring it up to the tip and bring it down if you're actually doing stroke work. Like for me, I'm just kind of making them and painting over it. But you can be specific in your stroke work or you can just play with it. However you want. There we go. And if you get a lot of pullback like that, you could actually do this where you go down one side and then you turn it, and that can help too with that. I like to try to come back up whenever possible, you know, on the other side, but you don't have to, because that it can actually maybe even create a different, not completely different look, but a different style. Like that. Now we're going to do one more. We'll be done with this part. Like I said, anytime you're painting these or painting any design, if you feel like you want to give it some dry time, maybe give it an hour or so, or if you have a heat gun, most people have a hair dryer, you could use that too, and you know that works well to try to give it a little bit. Now if the paint's thick, of course it's not going to dry that completely, just so you don't get too rely too much on that. If the paint is put on thick, it'll start to dry it, but it's not going to, you know, fully dry it enough to paint heavily over it, is what I'm talking about. Like this one, trying to get it to just kind of smooth it out a little bit. Now you could actually just put the paint on a little bit lighter, hit it with the hair dryer or the heat gun, and then maybe do another coat over it. That would work well too. But here you have the basics. Like I said, it's a little thin, so you could go over it again, but I'm not going to for the purpose of this video. I might give it a little drying hit with with my heat gun. But right now I'm going to tap in the centers using these Deerfoot Stippler. I don't know why, I just really like this for doing centers with. It's just so easy. It makes doing it very easy. Just light taps, pretty easy. Take your stippler if you want to put another color on it. I always hit it on the back side, and then I can come around. And I typically, when I put some on, will hit it on my plate. If you have like a paper towel or something, you could do that too, just to kind of give it one tap to get some of the excess paint off, so you're not putting too much paint on it like I just did there. So I say learn by my mistakes. And then you can always tap some more yellow back in it. If you feel like you got too much on it, you could also give it some drying time, just like anything else, and be able to put it on a little bit neater. But I mean, that's the basic gist of it. Is just putting it on where you get just a cute little center. The next thing I'm going to do is combine some of my green with my burnt umber. I'm going to pull in some of the yellow, because what I'm trying to do is get more of an olivey color. The only problem I have is that with my bottle being dark, this may be a little difficult. But basically what I did with the leaves on my sample is just put them in. I didn't really do like the one stroke loading of these. I did more of the just mixing the colors together and putting them on here. If you can see that, just very easy. And it's an olivey color. Just mixing those two colors together. Now on my sample I had like a stem for the flowers, branches. On this I'm not going to do that because I'm painting it on the bottle. I'm just doing it, you know, as if it's just like a flower, I want to say flower arrangement, but it's not on a branch. Just because with the bottle you really can't see it that well. Anyways, a lot of mine have the branches on that I paint when I paint my designs. So I decided on this one I'm not going to add that in. Let's see, let's put one down in here. Just gonna pull some orange in. I think I need to invest in some more brushes. I use my brushes so much for these videos that they're not lasting very long. I like them really crisp at the ends. They're really not staying crisp. And I do try to wash them off, you know, wash them out good, because that will mess them up too, as if you have too much in the barrel, which is where it connects to the brush. That can ruin your brushes. Okay, so these are a little hard to see, so you could mix a lighter color with them if you wanted to. For the purpose of this video, I like the combination that I'm using, so I'm not going to do that. Now on my sample, I did just some little filler branches, and I did them in the burnt sienna, and I'm doing them with the moon yellow. And basically on these, what I'm doing is just pulling the leaves. And by that I mean I'm just touching on the chisel edge on the sides, and then doing these cute little leaves that go, oh, that one's a little messed up, but that just go like that. And then you go, just pull them. Now, they don't have to be, it's not really a one stroke thing. I'm just trying to add a little bit of some variation in here, just a filler. And I'm just kind of taking my brush, just scooping it in and pulling it. Again, it's pulling, 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 and pulling. So it's giving it a little bit of color, a little bit of filler, and you would want to go through and make sure that they're a little bit thicker. And I'm going to do the same over here. Just pull it away, down, mix a little bit of yellow in it, more of the brown, but mix a little bit of yellow in it. Pull it, pull it. It's just on this side too. It's not flat, it's on the side, and just pull it. It's kind of a wispy, again you can go over it if you feel like they're too thin, and do that. So there you have that design. The last thing I want to do, now this might be a little difficult because of the paint not being totally dry, but I am just going to use this brush to tap in like the freckly look for your and normally I wouldn't use this, but I thought, you know what, I'm going to give it a try. And I like it. And you can do like the little freckles all the way down. You can put them all the way across. You can leave them off if you don't want them in there. It's really, really up to you. But see, it just light touches here and there, all over. You could use, if you want to do more dots, you could do that. You could use a dotting stylus. I'm just using the end of the number 8 flat brush. I'm just lightly tapping because I don't want to raise the paint. If you're fearful of that, go ahead and give it some drying time. I think that one is a little wet, so a little mushy, but it's okay. I mean, you get the gist. That's the whole point of the video, is to teach you how to do something right. And just make it light. It doesn't have to be, you know, real heavy. or it can be, however you want it. I like it. Alright, so there you have it. Just real easy, fun. Turn something that's going to be thrown in the trash into a piece of art. Give it as a gift. Use it in your house. Put some lights in it. Beautiful. Alright, I hope you like this video. If you do, make sure you give me a big thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to my channel before you leave. Hit that notification bell so you get notified when I post something new. And also, before you leave, share this with your family and friends on your social network. It's real easy. Just hit the share button that's underneath the video. That's all you have to do. And thanks again for taking the time to view my video. And until the next time, you have a good one. See you then.